Hello my friends, it's Jay here from the New Recruits and the Melbourne Costume Group. We had a wonderful panel at Oz Comic Con this weekend, December the 12th at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. We were talking about professional cosplayers like ourselves and the effect of their mental health upon us and our family and friends. A lot of people ask us, how do you do it? How do you become a professional cosplayer? And how does it affect your mental health in a lot of ways, especially during the pandemic? We had some fantastic individuals come up, very, very close friends of mine. We had the lovely Rhiannon and Preshaw, who rustles us up and organises our photos when we do our charity events, Good Friday Appeal, Diabetes Australia, Variety Club, does a wonderful job. We had Melbourne City Catwoman, Simay Argento. We had also Melbourne Batgirl and Superman. We had Andy, Lorenzo and his beautiful partner Erin. But also we had the big fella from Canberra, head of Team Accountable, the Australian Thor, Andy. It was a pleasure to have you on board. We also had the Thor Challenge, which is holding the hammer out, which you can see on YouTube right now. I want to say a big shout out to Simple Simon. Thank you so much. Kelly, Vanda, Moira, and Anne, thank you so much for the opportunity to do this. Talk about mental health and the effect on us and our friends, and also how, as professional cosplayers, we can get people involved who want to do it, but also how it improves our mental health. Thank you so much for all your help, and you're doing a wonderful job, and I'm very honoured to be a part of this group. Check us out on Facebook, check us out on Instagram, and of course, our details will be on after this video. Thank you so much for all your time. Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful day. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon. And the lovely Rhiannon Preshaw, this lady here at every event, she's the one who rustles us up, say, come on over here, take the photo over here, you've got to go here, you've got to go there. So she tells me I don't do a lot. You do so much. Can I have a big round of applause for these two ladies here, please?
You know, there is a great way of being able to express yourself, but also something I do want to touch on as well is the pressure that I've seen of friends who have to wear costumes to certain events. A good example, a friend of mine years ago, I'm talking maybe 5-6 years ago, he dressed up as Jack Sparrow. And at the time, that costume was so well known and so well loved and everything like that. And you could see, you'd be going out for dinner and he'd have a change of clothes and people would just kind of pound. And I said to him from the get-go, I said, look, I'm friends with you, I'm not friends with the costume. I'm still friends with the person outside of it. And if you don't look after yourself, that can almost consume you. And so unfortunately, dealing with other people, he dealt with some stuff, and nowadays he's still involved in doing art and everything like that. He's working in New Zealand, he's got a son now, so he's doing really, really well. But that's something I feel like, speaking to friends of mine, there's this pressure that doesn't get talked about of having to wear a costume, especially to conventions. And I have a rule when it comes to my Jawa costume: if I'm not in the mood, if I'm struggling mentally, I don't do it.
And that's a great message. Round of applause for Rhiannon for saying that, because as you know, as you can see, we all look the way we look and we go, look fantastic, but there is a bit of pressure, isn't there? There is pressure in some ways on us.
Oh, and, absolutely.
In some way, but the good thing is with our group, there's no pressure within the group. I think it's just individual, isn't it? Just individual mental stress as such.
Yeah, like I've said, being able to catch up with friends over this weekend, I've definitely come across a few, and it's like, oh, I felt like I had to wear this costume. It's like, you don't. It's just a convention. You need to be here having fun. I think coming out of the lockdowns, going back to work, everyone's like, oh my God, we're getting so overwhelmed. And so I've said, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. Don't put yourself through that mental strain, because it takes effort. You might be wearing your elaborate costume. It's like, oh, that's easy. But there's that effort to still put a performance, especially if you've either built like a social media following or you've built this reputation to be this character. There's this pressure that you put on yourself because you are only as good as your last performance in their eyes. So I tell people, don't put yourself through that. don't do that. And that's when I kind of got more involved in wrangling, because as I'm nearly 30 now, I've been focusing more on full-time work and being by myself and everything like that. So I'm able to use that experience of being amongst the 501st and the Melbourne Costume Group and everything in between, and at least be there for my friends and at least go, look, if you're tired, if you're unwell, if you need me, I am here and I understand. I will make sure you look good in every photo. I'll make sure that if you're posing, let's chat. Let's make sure that at least you're comfortable, and even if you're feeling crap, let's make sure that you don't look like it, because if you're especially wearing the Jabba costume, if I'm feeling in a really, really bad mood, just because I'm wearing costume, it shows more on the outside. And I've noticed that, so I just go, no, don't do that. Don't put yourself through that, because it shows 10 times more when you're wearing a mask.
So for me, my background is very versatile. So before I got into cosplay, going on the mental health topic, I've got an acting background. So I do a bit of acting, a bit of modelling. It's a bit of everything. I've got a dancing background. So I guess when you're in the entertainment industry or in that field, that's already good for the mental health as it is, because you love what you do. I then looked into cosplay because that falls into acting as well. So long story short, anyone that wants to come on board that is thinking of doing cosplay, or that wants to do a character or doesn't know how to get involved in it, just look up a lot of community groups or cosplay groups where they register you and you can ask them, and they will be able to help you get on board. Secondly, pick a costume or a character that you relate to. If you've been brought up as a little child and you've idolized Batman, Superman, Catwoman, whatever it is, connect with that character, and that's where you find your happiness, and that's where the mental health kicks in, because you relate to that character and it makes you feel good, it makes you happy, you smile. And when you go out cosplaying in that costume and you see people going, oh, you look great as Superman or Catwoman or whatever, that's where you click and you go, and that's where the mental health starts getting better, because you know that you're doing something right, you're doing what you love. But then when people are complimenting you and are remembering you from one time only and from a photo or at an event, that's when you start getting that encouragement, and that's where it kicks off. So I think it's really, really important that you just do what you love, you do what makes you happy, and you pick the right theme and character that you can connect with and level with, and the mental health will follow through.
Cuántas veces sentí de verdad que yo estaba vencido, caminando sin rumbo y andando no más por andar. Por momentos perdí la esperanza de estar.